as far as the initial starting of the Warriors Canvas was that we had a art show at Dick Nelson's gallery here in Johnson City that was a veterans art show that he sponsored. And I was on the organizing committee for that, and I mentioned to the person who was heading it up that when we were started with the show, that boy, it would be nice to have a permanent exhibition space like this in Johnson City for veterans.
Because every day we have veterans who are being just, fulfilling their 20 years retirements or, serving their time, and then they come out and they're still looking for a place where they can come. So I think that we are growing in ideas on things that we can do not only as a veteran community, but to serve our community as well. I love the fact that we're trying to bring in our veterans that get forgotten.
The basic mission of Warriors Canvas is, and that's to provide a place for veterans to heal through art.
I find I enjoy interacting with the veterans. In my life in Greene County, I don't know a lot of veterans. I enjoy coming here and having that part of my life, I guess, re-energized.
I was in the Army for 3 years. I enlisted, and I wanted to go to Vietnam. I was one of few that wanted to do that, but I wanted to get in the helicopters, so I was in the 1st Cav, and I was a crew chief and gunner on a Huey. I did that for a year and can't say that I enjoyed it. There were some memorable times, but I was glad to get home.
These guys are my friends as well as my brothers, and being able to say that is a very special place.
In the military, we most of us form strong bonds with each other. For a lot of people, it may be their first job away from home, when they join the military, and that's where people learn about camaraderie, socializing with each other, having each other's back, and we basically entrust our lives to each other.
The people that come here we're a pretty tight-knit group. We have guys that come every week, several days, and some come occasionally. But once we get to know each other, we help each other with artwork. We're not a place that does counseling. However, when vets get together, they tend to talk about veteran stuff. And I try to encourage them to tell their story. Just in talking to another veteran really helps them, so we form great friendships that way.
I really hadn't known how art really was the therapeutic aspect of whether it be PTSD or other injuries. A lot of times people don't know what a veteran goes through or what they suffer from because it's not something that is on their forehead or that clearly is seen from the outside. A lot of times those things are kept private. Sometimes there's different types of trauma that people aren't aware of.
Storytelling is probably one of many ways in which art relieves stress, gives veterans another outlook or outlet for their creativity or get some of that stress out, because if you're not doing that, you could probably be doing other things that can let some of that stress out that would be antisocial. But in the 20 years that I served in the Army, I've always seen that when it's times of stress, that anytime soldiers can get involved in anything that's artistic, drawing, singing, dancing, anything like that, is a socially acceptable outlet. And it's a source of creativity too. So having an outlet, a place for vets can get together, people with a common background and don't have to explain themselves to people in any kind of detail. They can just use their creativity in positive ways like that.
As Ray said during his storytelling, he had 3 distinct parts of his life. And I would say I've had the same, and that part in the military is important to me. I don't want to relive it, but I do like to remember it and hear other veterans' stories as it relates to their service to the country.
In a sense, they're drawing or painting or in pottery, putting their bad memories, their trauma, it all is going into that, and it helps to give them a break. And that break is what they really need, and it helps their mind to make sense of things a little bit and come to reconcile to those things.
This is a place where community is developed, and it's a community of veterans, it's a community of artists, and in a sense it's a community of humanity, because art is a reflection of humanity, and I love to see all of that come together.
The idea that you could be vulnerable, you could tell your personal story, and people might listen to it, and you have a place to tell it, or just the very idea that this is a possible outlet. And that's what I think the takeaway would be. I would hope that people got that out, that they would leave here saying, I got a story too.